we'll have a retail beta deployment for users. There'll be an application process. We're going to limit it to a limited number of users. One of the things that's really kept us from being a retail-enabled platform is the bandwidth of the people in the process and making it scalable, not just on chain and in the Dapp side, but also to have the customer service and the hand-holding. So rather than launching sort of full retail, we'd like to get a few people onboarded in different states where we operate. What's up, Beta Nation? Welcome to Dapp Central.
Hey, go finish it off, man. You've already started.
I can't do it. I don't know it all.
What's up, Beta Nation? Welcome to Dapp Central, your home for everything blockchain and crypto. I'm sitting here with Matthew Pullman to my right here. Wonderful intro, by the way. I'll give you that. But there's been so much going on here. So today we're going to be talking about W3I, the crowdfunding, the beta, I believe, for the retail side of operations, recent integrations, as well as the fact that you guys are now nearing $7 million USDM minted. Now, I think we'll save the best for last, so we'll come back to retail. Let's talk about W3I and the recent crowdfund. How are things going on that front? Any updates that you can share with us here today?
Well, the W3I crowdfunding is a SEC-registered securities offering that we're allowing the community to be the first equity investors, first outside equity investors in the USDM project broadly. So the way that it's structured is USDM is issued by Moneta, and that is a separate entity from W3I. W3I gets the revenue from the reserve, and all of the people who work for USDM work for W3I. So that's really the investment vehicle. So we want to keep the token protected by keeping it issued by a separate entity and then keeping the operations done by a different company. So that's really the investment vehicle and the financial instrument to get involved in W3I and then share the success of USDM with the community, with our investors.
How are things going right now, and what can people do to contribute or participate in that round?
Yeah, there's two websites. We're using a partner called Chainraise, which is a SEC-registered crowdfunding portal. They have, so their website for us is w3i.chainraise.io. And there's a marketing website called investinw3i.com that has informational videos and a lot of information about the company and where we come from and what we're doing, what our roadmap is beyond USDM. That gives a lot more information for investors, but would recommend everybody to go if they want to invest in the stablecoin, that's stablecoin makers of Cardano. So imagine buying Tether before Tether, buying Circle before USDC. That's where really we're looking for the investors for that. And it's going really well. We've had a lot of interest. We've talked with a lot of investors here. We're giving away hats for W3I. We've got a lot of merchandise store. We're setting up a merchandise store through a partner that we have. So there's a lot of things happening that will benefit the investors, and we're really excited about that opportunity for the community to really benefit from the success of USDM.
And I appreciate you sharing that. For the viewers here, I believe we've got a full deep dive interview to sort of highlight that W3I, the company structure, and sort of what has brought this about. Now, one thing that you did mention is the fact that W3I's first initial product is USDM, which has recently rebranded as well. Now, let's talk about that and the liquidity. That's been sort of like the biggest thing, right? Between the conversation about USDC, USDT, and USDM, and basically homegrown stablecoins. Right now, you guys have almost minted $7 million. I remember just a couple months back, $500,000, $250,000, and it seems like there's more and more of these bigger mints happening every few epochs. Can you share anything about where those mints might be coming from? And then maybe any expectations for like future mints of that amount?
Well, we need to keep our clients confidential. We are very protective of people's personal data and their transactions, so we don't disclose who's been minting and when what amounts they're minting. So I can't share that with you or with your audience, but I can say that we have a lot of strong support with major players that are helpful in getting USDM out into the ecosystem and supporting Cardano broadly and the Cardano DeFi stack, and now projects that are willing to accept USDM as payment for their offerings. So a great partner with that is Iagon. So Iagon has set up an Iagon USDM pool on the various DEXs, but they're also accepting USDM as payment for their machines that they're selling for the distributed storage solution that they offer. That's the kind of thing. We want to be a payment token that can be used as dollars on chain. And that's really our primary focus, is to be that medium of commerce that people can use to pay their team, to pay their vendors, to pay suppliers, to get money from customers to sell their products. It really needs to be a versatile payment token that users can get a good experience out of.
Yeah, and one thing that actually comes to mind when you mention that is your partnership with Validity, right? To really allow for merchants outside of Web3 to be able to accept different types of payments, including USDM, to purchase traditional goods.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, you've also talked about the fact that there's a lot more of these DEXs that are now adding support for USDM-based pairs. One thing that I would love to see would be the ability to use USDM on centralized exchanges, just like how right now you can use Tether or USDC. Imagine being able to use USDM. So is that something that you guys maybe have thought of? What would it take from the community to maybe see something like that actually happen?
We've been working on that for a very long time. We have a wonderful partner in Europe called NBX. They're very supportive of Cardano. They're building a Cardano native asset marketplace where you can pair up Cardano tokens with USDM on a centralized exchange. They'll be our minting partner for Europe. So once they go live with their Cardano exchange, they'll enable USDM minting. So we'll be able to open the footprint of people who can use USDM on a centralized exchange to all of Europe. So NBX is really the key partner there. We have to be careful about which exchanges to integrate with. There are not a lot that have strong support for Cardano. And so we're seeking those out carefully. We're going to be very judicious about how we engage in those relationships so that it's mutually beneficial for not just us and the exchange, but for the Cardano community broadly.
Nicely stated. Now, I want to segue here because there's, I think, two really big topics that we have to discuss. The next is integration and just support across various protocols related to DeFi and Cardano. So I'd love to hear about your recent integrations with Liquid and I believe EM4 as well, and any other potential protocols that you guys are sort of targeting outside of the DEX space.
Yeah, we saw it on-chain. Liquid updated their protocol to enable USDM. I don't know if they've finished it on the website side of it yet, but there's progress being made there. The DAO voted for integrating USDM into the lending and borrowing protocol a few weeks ago. And so the team has been working hard to build that type of integration, but I don't want to get too in front of their communications. But YAM4, we had a joint press release with them. We had a Medium article, and we talked about YAM4 when they go live on mainnet, they'll be able to have USDM borrowing, USDM loans, USDM lending within the YAM4 ecosystem. So that's one that we've mentioned publicly. We've talked about it a lot, and we really appreciate the support that YAM4 has shown to the community and to us.
Now, this just came to my mind, so I want to just quickly slide this in here while I've got you. Tether has recently released a stablecoin which is tied to the price of gold. Oh. Obviously, USDM is tied to the price of the US dollar. When can we see another pegged asset coming or being released by USDM?
I'm not sure that that's something we're getting into right away. We want to make sure that we've built the proper user platform, that everything is working as it should with the USD side. I think that gold and other commodities are a bit of a stretch for us. You might see more currencies out before you see commodities. But what you do see is Cardano as an ecosystem is getting a lot of that through the projects that InMaker's been doing with their tokenized assets. They announced that the diamond thing back in the Cardano Summit. I think they have additional, they did granite recently. So they're doing a lot of those sorts of things that we may not need to because others in the ecosystem are doing it.
Nice. Okay, we finally hit the question I received the most as a content creator about USDM, and that's the retail. What can you give us about retail? I hear that there's a beta coming out.
So we're going to announce on our socials and through the website. We'll have a retail beta deployment for users. There'll be an application process. We're going to limit it to a limited number of users. One of the things that's really kept us from being a retail-enabled platform is the bandwidth of the people in the process and making it scalable, not just on chain and in the Dapp side, but also to have the customer service and the hand-holding. So rather than launching sort of full retail, we'd like to get a few people onboarded in different states where we operate in order to have them test the platform, give us feedback so we can change it and make it better. make it a more usable platform that folks can get onto and use, as they see it fit. There'll be a lot of feedback. There'll be some iteration there. But I think that in order to do retail the right way, we wouldn't just say, hey, retail go. We'd rather do a retail beta launch, have a few applicants that will come through the process. We'll onboard them individually, and then we'll do an iterative process of feedback and improvement on the platform as that goes through.
Got it. No, thank you so much. And I'm excited. I know, again, that's been the piece that like a lot of people are waiting on. And I think once retail comes, it's going to be mint after mint after mint. And one thing that I've just run across that I really enjoy, which I'll leave the link to this down below, you guys have implemented a bot. So on Twitter, there's a bot that lets me know every time there's a huge mint.
Well, that wasn't us. That wasn't us. Somebody else did that, but we're grateful for whoever did.
Yeah, whoever did that, kudos to you. But I mean, I'll be scrolling on Twitter and then boom, 2 million, boom, 1 million. I'm like, oh, perfect. Now I got some content. So I'm really excited about what you guys are doing. And I think people are finally beginning to realize that, yeah, good things take time. And I mean, people have had to be patient, which I definitely feel as a creator, but I can only imagine being in your shoes, right? The amount of constant pressure that's sort of targeted at you and the team to get some of this out. But I also understand that security is paramount. That's number one. So, it's a fine line. And I'm sure that, again, you guys have done a lot to make sure that once we do get things live, especially in beta, that there's ways for the community to report anything and that there's ways for you guys to sort of upgrade things as time goes on. Now, that said, Matt, I'd love to turn it over to you for any closing thoughts or comments to highlight anything that we may have missed or that you just maybe want to double down on.
Well, I think we'll go back to the beginning. The W3I community investment round is really paramount for us to be able to have, communities in the ecosystem benefit, community members benefit from the success of the business. And so that's one of the things that we're really focused on is making sure that this is a successful round. We've already crossed our minimum threshold. We've got some stretch goals out there. And the investors that we've had come in have been, very strong community members, people that have been supporters from day one or before. And they've been there for us. And so we really appreciate the support from the community. Being here at Rare Evo, we're able to make new connections with new projects that we didn't know existed. And so it's really a nice opportunity to network and to be here to really grow the USDM platform, the USDM exposure. We've had a lot of support. Charles Hoskinson on stage the other day mentioned that there'll be $1 million bug bounty for the Lace paper wallet, that there will be 100,000 USDM, 100,000 USDM Doom tournament. The community acceptance and the acceptance from the broader Cardano ecosystem is very helpful, and it's been a phenomenal journey. So we appreciate the support. We expect to see a lot more in the future. And specifically because we came to Rare Evo, there are a lot of conversations that were had that couldn't have in other places. And so I'm grateful to the organizers of Rare Evo. I'm grateful to you for getting the word out about all the things on your channel and all you do for the community. So thank you very much, and I appreciate the audience, and thank you too.
No, the pleasure's mine. Every time I bring you on, I learn so much, and it's always a good time. It's really, really difficult to get a lot of project founders on the channel, but you're one where I reach out and it's never been an issue. You're always flexible and you answer all the hard questions, So again, I know you guys are fighting an uphill battle with other bigger names that people are really trying to push for, but I've been behind you guys. And I think that at this point, you guys are really beginning to shine.
Well, the hard questions are the questions we have to deal with every day because we work in a regulated industry. We work with regulated partners. We work with partners that expect the real out of you. And it's helpful when you do things the right way to make those conversations that could be difficult actually very easy. So thank you. And the hard questions are not hard. That's just how we operate.
Yeah, no, the pleasure's mine. Ladies and gentlemen, and that'll do it here for today's interview. Sitting down with Matthew Plowman, the CEO and the president of W3I. I keep saying USDM. I don't know why I always say that.
But no worries.
W3I chatting with me here. If you guys want to find out more about their crowdfunding resources, check out the links down below. If you guys have any questions about USDM, how to verify reserves, etc., again, links down below. If you have any questions, make sure to go ahead and leave those down in the comments. And again, Matt, I want to thank you for your time. Look forward to having you back on the channel very soon.
Thank you, Fareed.